Good morning.
Good morning, Alex.
Welcome to this special testimonial with a very special guest today. We have the pleasure of speaking with our client and friend, Bonnie, who recently partnered with us, Bigfoot Construction, for a complete interior and exterior home renovation. Could you please do us the honor of introducing yourself?
My name is Bonnie O'Sullivan. I'm a retired physician and I've lived in Coconut Grove since 2016. And we moved into this home after a complete renovation about a month ago.
Well, I know you, but the people don't know you. So thank you for that introduction, Bonnie. Let's dive in. What led you to seek a renovation for your home?
Well, this was a very unique project. The house was a duplex. We purchased it as a duplex 2 years ago and it was rented. And we decided to convert it to a single-family house. So once we did that, we had to do everything interior, including replacing the windows and the roof. The windows especially, because it was an older house, had these jalousied windows with burglar bars that I thought were horrendous. My husband liked them, but I hated them. And so we decided that once we were going to do that, we were going to replace them with impact windows. Once we started the renovation, there was leaks in the roof, so we had to do the roof. The roof wasn't initially part of the plan, but afterwards we realized we had to do the roof.
With so many construction companies in Miami, what made you choose Bigfoot Construction for this extensive project?
So when we were thinking about the renovation, I actually asked everybody I knew if they had a contractor, and I heard horror stories. I literally heard so many horror stories. So after nobody could recommend anybody, I interviewed people that I found online, and every single person I spoke to at Bigfoot Construction was amazing. The first person I called, spoke to Daryl, who's the owner, and he was just very polite, very professional. Then you came over and I felt like you listened to what I wanted in the project. And it was just a clear choice. It was just a clear choice from the very beginning. And we actually started with a different project that we stopped before we bought this house. So I had been speaking to you and Daryl and the whole team for months before we decided to do this huge renovation project. And it was a clear choice.
Impact windows and doors are particularly significant in Miami due to our weather conditions. How do you feel now that they are installed newly? How has it changed your comfort or security?
For me, I feel like you always feel better knowing the house is always protected. When we're here, it's one thing because you can, make sure the house is protected, but when you're gone, to know that the impact windows are here and the doors are here and you don't have to be nearby to put shutters up it's a security. It's a security. I think it wasn't really an option. We knew if we were going to replace everything, it was going to be impact windows and doors.
Tell us about the roof replacement. Why was this essential for you, and how do you feel about the results achieved by Bigfoot Construction?
The roof is amazing. I am very happy. Even though we didn't initially plan to do the roof, we had to because it was leaking. And we ended up putting a metal roof that is just beautiful. And from what I understand, it will last a really, really, really long time. The process was it was easy. I mean, the time frame, it was quick. And I felt like the team worked around my schedule. We actually had a family reunion in the middle of the roof project and it didn't interfere at all. They had the roof removed and it was done neatly because we told our neighbors, if there's any mess, we'll clean it up. There was nothing. Everything was done very clean, neat, quickly. Honestly, very painless. Very painless, I'd have to say. The roof was great.
You know what really warms my heart?
What warms your heart?
I know that's not BS. I know it's true, and because I know that that's how we worked on this project, and hearing it come from you, honestly, and knowing that you're not just saying that.
Right. Yeah. And the roof did come about after we had worked together for months before we knew we had to do the roof. And so I didn't even have to look for anybody else to say, oh, well, who should I find to do the roof? Obviously, you guys were going to do the roof because everything in the whole project, and it was a huge project in the end. Everything was great. It was fantastic.
I mean, before we realized we needed to do the roof, we had to reframe the entire floor, reframe a lot of the the trusses
Exactly.
in the roofing system.
Exactly.
So, by then it was like that was the only thing left.
That was the only thing left. It was almost a brand new house, and I'm actually really happy that the roof was done. Really, really and truly. So.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too. It would have been like having a whole body makeover.
Body makeover and old hair.
Yes. Undergoing major home renovations can sometimes be stressful. Most of the time, actually.
Yes.
How did Bigfoot Construction ease those concerns and or fears for you and your family?
The main thing was to be realistic about the timeline. We had other contractors give us an estimate of 3 months, and I remember Daryl saying realistically it will be 6 months. And just knowing that we were given an honest opinion, and things can always happen, but knowing what to expect along the way, I think made us feel more comfortable. You're not just telling us what we want to hear, and that helps a lot. And I think throughout the process, being comfortable with each other, that changed everything. Because anything you tell me, I'm like, okay, we can work together, we can figure it out. Things happen, but we'll work it out. And it didn't make me nervous at all. So.
While we focused on impact windows, doors, and the roof, can you touch on the rest of the interior and exterior renovations that were done? Were there any standout moments or results?
Honestly, every single moment was a standout moment. I was excited from the floors went in, the walls went in, the cabinets went in, just everything made me excited. And every single person who came into this house was professional and they did their job well. The things that stand out that you see, those were amazing, but then the other things like the electrician and the plumbing, everything was completely replaced. Everything is brand new, and those guys were amazing, really and truly. And you can see the finished product here. I mean, we love it. We love it. And I was excited from every single thing that went in. And the last thing was these open shelves that went in last week, and they're amazing. They're amazing.
Trust is crucial when letting a team work on such a personal space like your home. Can you speak about the trustworthiness of Bigfoot Construction and any moments that affirmed your decision to work with us?
From the very beginning, it's more like a feeling. You meet somebody and you feel like you can communicate with them, you feel like they're honest with you, but the trust is built over time. It's not like you trust somebody right when you meet them, because you can get a feeling and you don't really know. But it's been about a year or longer that we've worked together, and every single thing I feel like I can talk to you guys and you're being honest with me. And if there's a misunderstanding, we work it out. If something happens, if there was a scratch in the floor caused by something, you will take ownership of that and do what you need to do. So the trust is something that's built, and I would tell anybody in the future that yes, you're very trustworthy and you should trust them and believe in them and hire them, but it's something you have to learn. And I've found that these guys are the best.
Lastly, Bonnie, for those who might be considering a home renovation, for those who might be considering new impact windows and doors throughout their home, or for those who might be considering a total roof replacement, what would you like to tell them about your experience with Bigfoot Construction?
From the beginning to the end, it was as smooth as it could have possibly been. You would not imagine a renovation like this, which was extensive. All new plumbing, all new electrical, all new floors, all new windows, everything in the house. It was a big job. And you would think that things would come up that you would be upset and you wouldn't work it out, but we always work things out, and it was smooth. I feel like not only do I have contractors, but I have friends. I would definitely use you guys again for my next project. Next time.
Nice. How would you describe the communication and professionalism of the Bigfoot Construction team throughout this process?
It's been excellent. The person I communicated with the most was you, Alex. But what helped was that we had this chat with everybody in the team, and if you weren't available for whatever reason, there was always somebody else who would answer, and also everybody knew what was going on. You know, everybody was following along with the project, so everybody knew what stage we were at and what was going on. And that was very, very important to me. I didn't want to feel like I couldn't call somebody or people wouldn't answer if I call, because I'm not the kind of person to harass people, but when I call you, I want an answer, you know? And it's been great. It's been great.
Yeah, so being that we're in the middle of hurricane season, and like you guys were talking about earlier, there's a storm on the way. Being here in Miami, having the history that we have with storms, how do you feel now that the house is completely reinforced, impact windows and doors, and a new roof going forward into the future?
Honestly, it's the best feeling. So not only is it protecting the new house that we just renovated, but also protecting me and my family. There's always a storm in Miami, always. And it just feels good knowing that the house is prepared. And from what I understand, well, I know metal roofs are the best roofs and will last forever. But I also understand how the roof was installed, that it was tied down to the concrete. My husband knows more about that, but he watched them put it up and he said, there is no way this roof is going anywhere. So also I understand that this roof should last 50 years or more, and it's great. So I feel very secure.